Raptors Celtics. This
scares me.
Should be a really good series.
Yeah,
I'm so scared.
Lowry, we still don't know. Hayward is done for the series, so that at least if Lowry can't play, it evens things out a little bit. I still would rather that's not a good trade-off for the Raptors if they both can't play.
No.
But
I saw Elvin Williams said there's a 95% chance Kyle Lowry plays.
That was
I don't
speculation from a person who knows him personally.
Yeah, he's just saying Lowry. Basically, he's saying Lowry's tough.
Yeah.
But if he's ankle is completely.
But he talks to Kyle Lowry a lot. Alvin,
I guess they're friends.
I don't think he's saying that.
And
willy-nilly.
I think Lowry would have to be very hurt to not play.
I think he'll play. I think it's pretty certain he'll play at some point in this series, but how effective he'll be and when that ends up happening, who knows? But
so the one thing the Hayward injury does though is Boston is not deep at all.
They play like Brad Wanamaker plays for them.
They're Marcus Smart's their one real guy who's kind of dangerous off the bench, and he's now going to be starting. So off the bench you have Wanamaker,
Semi Ojeleye,
the Time Lord Robert Williams.
Yeah. Do they have Carson Edwards in the bubble?
He's probably he doesn't play though. Do you know why Robert Williams is called the Time Lord?
No.
I
think I've heard you tell me this
because he apparently after they drafted him he missed his introductory press conference and then he missed a flight early in the season, so they called him the Time Lord.
Is Taco Fall in the bubble right now?
Yeah, I think
he must be. Yeah, maybe he comes off the bench for a couple minutes.
He's not gonna play.
No.
They got Ojeleye, they got Grant and Robert Williams.
Yeah.
And Wanamaker.
Yeah.
Not a very
the Raps have Serge Ibaka coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Norm.
So
yeah,
we've got a strength there. If Lowry isn't playing though, their starting five is definitely
much
better
worse
than ours.
Oh, okay, never mind. I said
So
much worse
Boston's.
in terms of comparatively with when Lowry was in.
And the big thing is these are two of the best defensive teams in the league, but only one of them is a top 5. I think there are 2 top 5 defenses in the league, and one is a top 5 offense, and Boston's the top 5 offense.
But our defense is ranked ahead of Boston.
Yes. Yeah.
Boston is the only. I think Boston and the Clippers are the only teams in the league that are top 5 in both.
And I think usually a team that's top 5 in both wins the title for whatever that's worth.
So I was reading a preview on The Athletic at Blake Murphy, and he was talking about how the Raptors' biggest strength on their offense is their transition. We've talked about it on here. They're not a very good half-court offense. They want to get out and move. But Boston, their lineup is basically just these athletic wings. You have Tatum, Brown, Smart. Kemba Walker's not a wing, but he can get back quick. So the problem the Raptors had in the bubble game where they got crushed by Boston is they were very good at getting back and taking away the Raptors in transition. So the Raptors are gonna have to find a way to either you need to improve your half-court offense. Nick Nurse is gonna come up with some wizardry there, or you got to find a way to get out and run and beat these guys back, because that's the advantage the Raptors have is their transition. If they get stuck playing a half-court game, I think Boston has the advantage because they're both good defensively.
Yeah. Nick Nurse, Coach of the Year, too. I don't know if we talked about that.
We haven't yet. Yeah. Congratulations, Nick Nurse.
The way they did that was really cool. He said he didn't know until they told him on TNT.
Really?
That's
really
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
They had
his high school
coach.
Yeah.
And
then Kyle and Fred brought him the award.
That's sweet.
Live on the air. So
I was thinking about this too. The other East matchup, which one of you picked? Did you pick the Heat?
Yeah.
I think you could make a pretty good case that the 4 best coaches in the NBA right now are the 4 coaches in the 4 teams left in the East. Popovich. I mean,
Steve Kerr,
Doc.
Doc. Yeah.
I X's and O's though. Spoelstra, Nurse, and Brad Stevens are notorious, and then Budenholzer is too. Even though last year he kind of got roasted in the playoffs for not adjusting.
Did you see? I think it was during one of the Nets games on the broadcast. Matt Devlin said Nick Nurse is everything people wanted Brad Stevens to be.
Yeah, he was. I know.
Which was
he was just roasting.
Just an unreal thing to say.
I love it.
Do you think? Okay, the Raptors and the Celtics. They've never played in the playoffs.
I think they're only.
Which is crazy.
The only team
considering they've both been in the playoffs the last 5 years.
There's one team I think in the East the Raptors haven't played in the playoffs now, and it's Charlotte. That's the only team in the Eastern Conference that haven't played in the playoffs. Yeah.
But there's still always we've never played them in the playoffs, but there seems like there's still that that rivalry there.
Yeah.
Do you think that just carries over from Leafs Bruins?
Our
Part of it- well,
I personally hate every Boston sports
yeah,
team.
but that's what I
Like,
mean. Do you think
hard
that's
not
just a
to.
As a
carry?
Bills fan, as a Leafs fan, like as a Raptors fan, as a Jays fan,
Yeah. So
like-
do you think it just carries over from that?
I
from
think that's
part of
just.
it,
I think
for
it's
sure.
city versus city rivalry, and I hate to say it, but I think we have the little brother syndrome on this one.
well, they're yeah.
they don't think about us.
The last
Well,
few
I think the only
Yeah.
sport where you can make that exception is maybe the Celtics.
Yeah,
the last
The other two,
it's
it's
the
not
last
even close.
yeah.
part of it too. The last few years, it's always been who's like the Raptors have been kind of the premier team in the East over the last like five or 10 years.
I think it was like,
Five, like-
I think I saw it was
Well,
like
it's
the last
Cleveland.
7
Yeah,
over
yeah.
the last 7 years we have the best collective record.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
In the league, not even
Boston's-
just in the East.
or at least we'll say in the Atlantic Division, the Raps have been the top team in
Well, yeah,
in that
we've
division.
won it 7 years in a row.
Yeah.
or
So
something.
and the Boston's always kind of been the next team to come that like people are waiting for them. Boston and Philly, I guess, are the two teams that people are waiting to come and take that from the Raptors.
and
The,
And
the U.S. media is just
Oh yeah,
licking
they're
chops for it.
yeah.
yeah, well, they're gonna get their shot.
Yeah, so that's part of it too, and there's always seems to have been that on court rivalry as well, and then obviously the Leafs Bruins stuff definitely does not hurt in terms of the fan bases.
So 2 young guys, Tatum and Siakam. Is this a new magic bird?
For the Atlantic Division,
Yeah.
maybe. It's the I mean, they're gonna be. I mean, Philly is like rebuilding.
Yeah.
I think so. It's Boston and Toronto for the next. I mean, Toronto might
Brooklyn.
go through a pretty radical change here in the next year too.
Brooklyn could be up there.
I
Brooklyn might have
trust.
some
I
nice
trust
stuff.
the way we're built that we can at least stay within the top 2 of the division with this radical change that is coming. Like based on all the contracts, like it's gonna happen next year probably.
Yeah.
We lose. We can still re-sign them. Ibaka, Gasol, and
Van Vliet. Yeah.
And then we have Lowry only 1 more year after that.
You want to make some predictions on this series? I'm gonna say
It's going 7.
I'm gonna be fair here. I don't want to sound too biased. If Kyle Lowry doesn't play a game, Boston wins. I'm gonna say Kyle Lowry does play though because he's a Bulldog, and I'm gonna say Raps in 7. And I'm saying the winner, regardless, Raps or Celtics, winner of this series is going to the finals.
Ooh.
7. Yeah, I'm calling a 7-game series. I'll say because I love the Raps and I can't bet against them. I'll say Raps in 7, but I will also I'm scared.
I think
Like,
if Lowry doesn't play,
Yeah.
it's gonna be tough.
I'm scared. So I'd say Raptors in 7, and
If
the-
Lowry doesn't play, Norm Powell's got to have a huge series. He's going to step in the
He's
starting
been
lineup. and
unbelievable in the
he's been
playoffs.
good,
so
has been
far
good,
against
yeah.
the
He's going to have to continue to have a huge series. 'Cause
playoff Powell.
Boston's got a lot of good defenders, so it's easy to have a good series against Brooklyn.
I
Like-
think. Well, again, if Lowry plays, I think he's going to have the opportunity to do that too if he's coming off the bench because he's going to get some easier matchups. I think than going up against Jaylen Brown going up.
Fight.